just unloaded our twin spark cup car after our weekend away at the Shannon's Nationals. We were running with the VRA guys, the Veloce Racing Association, all weekend, and the car didn't give us any trouble. However, being a race car, it is important that you check a few key items before you take it out, as there's nothing worse than getting to the track, paying your entry fee, and having problems that you could have prevented earlier on. So we usually start with washing the car, and then we'll put it up on the hoist and check a few things. So we do monitor the oil condition throughout the race weekend, and if need be, we will change it halfway through the weekend, which we did, and it was good. The car has very consistent oil temperatures and oil pressures. The oil doesn't really get too hot. But before we change the oil, I always check. Doesn't smell burnt or anything. And a quick eye over, just for anything obvious, any obvious coolant leaks. It all should be good, but so before we go all the way up, I'll stop here and just check for any play in the wheel bearings, as they are put under a lot of stress and a lot of heat throughout the weekend, as well as any play in the steering joints. All seems to be fine. All's fine. So we've got our wheel off, just so I can have a closer look at the brakes here. The discs are looking a bit secondhand now. We have had them on the car for a long period of time, and we did have a feeling that they'd need replacement soon. Certainly looks to be the case. They've got quite a good lip on them now and quite a bit of glazing as well as discoloration. Similarly, our brake pads look to have been heated past what they want to be, and they seem to be coming apart. Oh boy. Wow, so as you can probably see, the pad surface is very heavily glazed and the actual pad material has started to come apart. So we'll absolutely replace these. I might actually try a different compound pad. So like most cars, it relies on the front brakes a lot more than the rear brakes, especially being a front wheel drive. So I don't really expect anything to be wrong. However, you always check. The pads do look fine. I will still pull them out and have a better look. The disc has got some scoring on it and some pitting. So since we're doing the fronts, I'll do the rears as well and replace them as a set. So now that we've taken our wheels off and checked our brakes, I'll put the car a little higher on the hoist and have a better look underneath. I'll check for leaks, anything particularly obvious, as well as spanner check the vehicle, make sure nothing's rattled loose or moved at all. So now that we've got it up, we can see everything underneath the car a little bit better. There doesn't appear to be any oil leaks. Obviously, it's very important to check these because these are pressurized oil lines. So any leak here could be very detrimental. These feed oil to our remote filter and our oil cooler. However, there doesn't seem to be any leaks there either. So the next step is to check all of our major suspension and crossmember pickup points. These large bolts along here, as well as along here, and back here as well. Now you probably can't see them, but they've all got paint marks on them, so we can see if they've changed position at a glance. However, I will get spanners on them and check them that way as well. We will check engine mounts while we're here. We do already know that this back engine mount needs replacing, as I can visually see that it's torn. So we'll get one of those for it now. While I've got it on the hoist, I'm also going to cast an eye over all of our suspension bushes and sway bar links. While they're all fairly new on this car, doesn't hurt to check while we've got it up. I'm also going to cast an eye over the underside for any damage that may have occurred on track by a ripple strip or what have you. So an important thing on the Alpha Twin Sparks is to check the timing belt. They have a very, very stringent maintenance interval, and they are a common failure point on these engines. So I just want to make sure that it's still running true and hasn't touched anything and has no burn marks or score marks on it. We replaced it recently and it still looks fine. So now that we've checked the car over and we have a short list of things that we need to pay attention to, I'm going to give the car a quick service, some new oil and a filter, and then we should be good to go. Alright, so now that that's done, I'll stick the new oil in it and call it a day. So I've got our fresh oil here ready to go in. As you can see, we use E&I's 10W60 Sport oil, which we've used to great success so far. So that's all for underneath the bonnet for today. Once we get our new brake pads and discs, we'll change the brake fluid as well. But until then, we're done.